Hello, guys. So let's look into arithmetic sequence, or we call it linear pattern. Okay. So in this case here, we want to understand what is this what we're talking about. So let's say terms here. So you can say T1, T2. Let's just put them on top here. So T1, we've got our T2, we have T3, we have T4. Now, when you're saying T, it means a term. So a term 1. So 3 is term 1, and 5 is term 2, 7 is term 3, goes on like that. But now this is a sequence, and you want to use this when you are given this, you want to determine, to predict any value in the sequence. So when we are given this, we can be able to find the general term. In this case here, we're asked to determine the nth term. So nth term can be also mean the general term or general rule. Okay, so if they ask you about determine the nth term, they're asking about the general term or the general rule. What is this? What is this? This is the formula. This is the formula. So it refers to the formula. It refers to the formula. So this refers to the formula that we can use to determine any term in this sequence. Okay, so how do we determine that? Let's look at this. So this is an arithmetic sequence, meaning to say it has what we call a common difference. What do we mean by that? If we subtract T2 minus T1, which is 5 minus 3, we get 2. Then if we subtract T3 minus T2, which is 7 minus 5, we get 2. Then if we subtract T4 minus T3, which is 9 minus 7, we also get 2. Can we see something here? This is constant. So what do we refer to this? We refer to this as constant difference. Constant difference. So this constant difference, we refer to it as D. Okay, but when you look at these terms, there is a term that they are starting with here. And what is this term? We call this term A, which is our first term. So it refers to the first term. So A refers to the first term, and the Tn here is referring any term that we have in the sequence. Now let's look at this. Let's see how do we get the general term. So the general term that is used here is Tn is equals to A plus n minus 1 D. Okay, what is this? What is this? So this is the formula that we must use. So when we have this, we now substitute the values. Substitute. So major thing here, substitute and simplify. So when you substitute here, when you're looking for the Tn, we say Tn is equals to our A, we have it, which is 3, plus our n, we need to remain with n. Why do we need to remain with n? Because we are saying it's any term in the sequence. So let's look at D. What is the D? D is our constant difference, which is in this case is 2. Okay, so now we simplify this. We say take 3 plus 2 times n is going to be 2n. 2 times negative 1 is going to be negative 2. Okay, so here this is going to be 2n. 3 minus 2 is going to be 1. So 2n plus 1. This is the, the general term. So this is what we are referring to as the general term. So Tn, or the nth term, Tn is equals to 2n plus 1. So this is our formula. So with this formula here, we can say, let's look at the third term. Let's find the third term of this one. So if we're looking for the third term, we'll say T3 is equals to, we now substitute where there is n, we put 3. So it's going to be 2, 3, then plus 1, which in this case here, 2 times 3 is going to give us 6, plus 1 is going to give us 7, which is our 7 that we have here. Okay, now, so now I think you understand how we get to the general term, or how we get to the general rule. Now let's go on to this next second question, which is question 2. So question 1 here, we are done with it. Now let's look at the second term. the second question. Now, on the second question here, we determine the 180th term. So in this case here, we don't need to stress ourselves. We're just going to bring in our general rule that we got already, which is 2n plus 1. And when you're looking for the 180th term, it's going to be just 1t is t 180, which is going to be equal to 2 times 180. Sorry about that. 180 plus 1. So what is 2 times 180 plus 1? Let's look at that. So let's see here. 2 180 plus 1, we get 361. So our answer there is 361, just like that. Now let's look at the last question there for this one. Which term of the sequence is equal to 353? Now, when we are given this now, we are looking for n. So n is in question in this case. N is in question. So what we are given here, we are given Tn. So in this case here, Tn, this is our Tn. So Tn is given. And on the previous question here, I forgot to tell you here, what we are given here, we are given n. So n is given. So n in this case is given, which is our, so let me just put it here as n. So n is given, which is our 180. And we are looking for, what is it, for the T180. So we are looking for Tn. This is what we're looking for. Okay, so now let's look at this one here. So in this case here, we are going to say, okay, what is our formula saying? Our formula is saying Tn is equals to 2n plus 1. What is given to us? What is given to us is Tn, which is 353. 353 is equals to 2n plus 1. We take 1 that side, it's going to be 353 minus 1 equal to 2n, and we divide by, oh, sorry, before we do that, this is going to give us 352 equal to 2n. Okay, now if we are to divide there, 2n is equals to 352, which we say 2, n here is going to be equals to, so here is going to give us 1. Then here, when we get 1 there, it's going to give left us with 1. Then it's going to give us 7. Then which is going to leave us, what is it, with 2 into 15, 7. 7, yeah. Then remainder 1. Then 2 is, it's going to be 176. So our answer there is 176. Okay, just to confirm with our calculator there. 352 divided by 2, we get 176. So this is our answer. Now, let's go on to the next question and see if we can get it. Now, determine the nth term. Now, we can cruise now because we now understand what's going on. Tn is equals to a plus n minus 1 d. What is our, let's look at this. What is our d? If we say negative 10 minus negative 6, which is going to give us minus going to give us, it's going to be plus, so it's going to give us negative 4. Okay, then if we say negative 14 again here, plus 10 is going to give us negative 4, so it's going to give us negative 4 like that. So we get negative 4 as our d. So d is our negative 4. So here is our d. Then what else do we have? Our a is here. Our a is just negative 6. So we don't need to stress about that. Now let's put in the information down. Tn is going to be equal to, what is our a? Our a is going to be equal to negative 6 plus, what is our n? N minus 1. We just put it like that. Then d is also is negative 4. So it's negative. So this is going to multiply this first term, and also I'm going to multiply that. Then if that happens, it means that we're going to left with negative 6 plus negative, let me just put a negative there. Negative 4 times negative n is going to give us negative 4n, and negative times negative is going to give us plus 4. Then what we're going to get now is going to be negative 4n minus 6 plus 4 is going to be minus 2. So our answer now in this case here is equal to negative 4n negative 2. Then if you can see that if you want to find the second term, if you want to say T2, we're going to say negative 4, what is it? 2, negative 2, which is going to give it negative 8, negative 2, which is negative 10, and then we can see our negative 10 is there. So this is what you need to do. Cross-check your answer. How do you do that? find the term that is in the sequence. Then you are done. Now let's move on to the next question. Now it's negative 4n negative 2. So in this case, we're looking for 500 term. So T500 is going to be equals to, remember our Tn is equals to negative 4n negative 2, which in this case negative 4, 500 negative 2, which in this case we're going to say is going to give us negative 2002. So it's negative 2002. That's going to be the answer there. Now let's move on to the next question, which is asking us, find the number of terms in the sequence. This sequence here. So what they did here, they gave you what is it? They gave you this last term here. So they gave you this last term here. In this case here, we can just say it's our Tn that is given. So now, if we can find that, if we can find the Tn, we are actually given Tn as negative 442. So this is what they've done. And what are we looking for here? We are looking for n, but we are given Tn. So now it means that the last term is our Tn. So we just want to find out what term is it. So it's more like this question here that we have here before. Let me just check here, which is which term of the number pattern is equal to 353. So that's what they're asking you. It's one and the same question, but they ask you in different ways. So just remember that when you're given that as the last term there, you know that, okay, this is the Tn that I'm given. So in this case here, we know the formula Tn is equals to negative 4n negative 2. We are looking for what? We are looking for n. So what are we given there? We're going to put in the what we are given. What we are given here is negative 442 equals to negative 4 n negative 2. We take the negative there, it's going to be plus. So it's going to be negative 440 equals to negative 4n. Then we can divide by negative 4. We divide by negative 4. Then this one is going to cancel. Our n there, our n is going to be equals to, so if we take negative 4110, so it's going to be 110. 110 is going to be our final answer. Now let's move on to the last part of the question. Determine the nth term. We know what to do now. Tn is equals to a plus n minus 1 d. But Stallman, these are fractions. What do we do in that case? So in this case here, we can simply convert this into improper fraction. So if we check this one here, we multiply, we add, we multiply here, we add here, we multiply here, we add here. So if we do that on top here, we're going to find new values here. 2 times 2 is going to be 4 plus 1, 5 over 2. Then here is going to 2 times 4, what is it? 8, 10 plus 1 is going to be 9 over 2. Then in this case here, 2 times 6 plus 1 is going to be 13. So it's 13 over 2. Now, if we can see here, we've got 5 over 2, then 9 over 2, then 13 over 2. But once we have the same denominator, we just need to worry much about the numerator there. So 9 minus 3 is going to give us 4. 13 minus 9 is going to give us 4. So it means that the common difference here, d here, is going to be equals to 2, which is 4 over 2, which is going to give us 2. So the common difference here is 2. Then what is the first term? First term is 5 over 2. Then what do we do here? We substitute. Let's substitute here. 5 over 2 plus, what is our n? N minus 1. What is our d there? D there is 2. So we're going to bring down here and say, okay, what is 5 here? 5n. 2. Then here plus 2n minus 2. Then if we are going to say 5 over 2 minus 2, what do we get? We get 1 over 2. So it means that in this case here, we're going to get our Tn is going to be equals to 2n plus 1 over 2. That's what we have here. This is our term, our general term. Then let's move on to the next one. So now we're looking at, so we say 2n plus 1 over 2. So here Tn is equals to 2n plus 1 over 2, which is going to be equals to 170 plus 1 over 2, which is going to be equal to, let's see here, what do we have? So 170 times 2 is going to give us 340 plus 1 over 2 is giving us 681 over 2. So 681 over 2. That's our final answer like that. Now, let's touch on to the last question, which is that which term of the number pattern is equal to 329 over 2. So in this case here, what do we know? We know that we're going to say Tn is equals to, what do we have on the previous slide there? 2n plus 1 over 2. So what is given to us? This is Tn that is given to us. So we're going to say 329 over 2 is equals to 2n plus 1 over 2. We are looking for what here? We are looking for n. Okay, we're looking for n. So in this case here, we're going to take 1 over 2 that side. So we minus. So this is going to give us 320 over 2. No, not 320 over 2, 328. Because 329 minus 1 is going to give us 328 over 2, which is equals to 2n. Now, if we have that, it means that to find our n here, we're going to divide by 2. Then if we divide by 2, let's see what we get there. So if we say 328 over 2, which we can find out anyway, which we can find out. So here we're actually simply dividing by 4. In this case here, divided by 2, we're going to get 82. So here n is equals to 82. Okay, this is our final answer. Now, you know how it works with Mrs. Tolle. This is the work for you. You need to practice this and send this to me so that I can have a look at it. Don't forget to join the Google Classroom. Guys, tell your friend. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.